Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper.
All right, everybody, welcome back. So again, right down to business, and we're going to talk about something that came up, with the IBT this week regarding the 9-5 list.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, we
sure.
talked.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
everybody's heard about it at this point. So,
yeah. I mean, we talked about it a little when you can start filing it again, and what the language says, and it's the peak season is through the 15th, but the opt-in list is effective as of the 15th. So the IBT came out this week that they want to do it, as of, the 15th. And
yeah,
I mean, hey, we're all for that,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Like I've
I
told
mean,
everybody, I was always under the impression that it started after that. This language, supports that it starts on the 15th.
yep,
And
yep,
if the IBT wants to take that position, I'll be like, hell, I'll file the grievance. But I do want to point out that it's just like I know everybody's kind of chomping at the bits to get on the compliance list, especially in my area
yeah.
before summer. I,
Hmm.
I wouldn't count on this being one of the weeks that you get paid out on anytime soon, because I
Yeah,
expect this is going to be a big fight between the company and the IBT. I
yeah,
expect it'll probably there'll probably have to be a panel, possibly even an arbitration decision on this. So I wouldn't count
yes.
on this. I wouldn't count on this grievance getting settled anytime soon. But I think they make a pretty good case with the opt-in list, and then once again, if you want to read this yourself, this is everything that's included here that's in this argument is going to be on page 151 of the contract of the National Master.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, this is going to be Article 37, Section 1, subsection C. It's on page
Hmm.
151. The union shall circulate and collect the names of eligible package car drivers who wish to be covered by the provisions of this section once each year. This list shall be provided to the company by January 5th of each year. The employer shall make a reasonable effort to reduce package car drivers' workdays below 9.5 hours per day for those on the list. If a review indicates that progress is not being made in the reduction of assigned hours of work, i.e., the package driver has worked more than 9.5 hours on 3 days in a work week, the following language shall apply except for the period from November 15th through January 15th of the following year. So that is the section that the company is going to be citing, I imagine.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then the section that the IBT is taking this is a couple of paragraphs down. The opt-in list, quote unquote, provided by the union shall become effective on January 15th. A driver may
All
add
right.
or delete their name from the
Yeah.
list at any time with 1 week's notice to the employer.
Yeah.
So that language says that January 15th is the start of 9/5. Like I said, this is going to be a fight. I have I hopefully the IBT is pretty confident about this. I will see how the ball falls on this because like I
Yeah.
said, this isn't going to be something the company's not just going to pay out all these grievances.
Yeah.
They're gonna fight this tooth and nail because that's going to be a lot, especially for around our parts because we were shut down for 2 days because of the ice. And this whole week, like I ran out of hours on Friday.
Yep.
So, and I know a
Yep.
lot of other people did too. So we've been,
Yep.
so that's a lot of overtime, that a lot of triple time they would have to pay out. But, I'm pretty confident that we could see it. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's no telling how long it'll take. So,
Yeah. That's the thing. Just let this one play out, and we'll see what happens with it. So we just wanted to bring that up because it's important, because we spoke about the language, and IBT came out with some stuff, and we're always we're gonna back the IBT, and yeah, okay,
yeah,
this is the way it
100%.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but moving on to something else, we get we get lots of emails.
Yeah.
Okay, questions, and what are we gonna go over two today?
Yeah. Let's go over two real quick. Um,
Okay. Okay.
One that we're pretty open about is people that received warning letters for the day after Thanksgiving. And
Yeah.
we're pretty open about this. We feel that it's a holiday. If you feel like you need to spend that with your family, that you should, that it should be
Yeah.
optional for you to come in and work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously, if you do choose to, that gets you that double time. So we have a lot of
Yep.
people that choose to come in. It's hard to turn down that money. So one of the things that I feel that this contract lacked was giving people more time to spend with their families. We didn't
Yeah,
really see an
absolutely.
option day increase, which is something I would have
Hmm.
liked to have seen. We didn't see vacation really increases, because in our supplement anyways. So,
Yeah.
having that one day, that one extra day, especially around the holidays where it's important to go and see and be with your families, I think it's important. But we had somebody write in that apparently he was told by their president and business agent that
There was a precedent set.
there was some sort of a precedent set
Yeah.
about the day after Thanksgiving being a working holiday. And I've never heard this.
No. No.
In
No.
fact, I don't know if there's been a panel hearing or if there's been a panel decision or an arbitration decision or anything on this. I highly doubt it. I would think that would be something that they would put out if I would
No.
hope that would be something that the locals and the IBT would put out if this was some sort of a hard nosed response
Well,
to this thing. But
yeah.
to me, that's just blank because I think we had about 30 or 40 drivers take that day off this year,
Yeah.
and they wrote four of them up. So I don't know why they only wrote four of them up. I filed a grievance on their behalf, Article 37. Since they singled those four out instead of the other 30,
Yep. That's
to
disparate treatment.
disparate treatment to get thrown out. But it's
Yeah.
to me, I don't understand why I don't understand why the leader of a local would take that position.
No. No.
Especially
And
without some like
yeah.
hard evidence that says, "Hey, this is the case." Obviously, if you get written up for a holiday, we've got one coming up, Martin Luther King Day. I think the company's shut down for this. They're not doing anything, just like they did last year. And
Yeah.
the only 2 days that this would even matter for would be the day after Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, because those are the only holidays we typically work any at all.
Yeah. Well, the problem here is it's a holiday. So
Yeah.
how is there precedent set on a holiday? Now, I have to say something though. This is excluding air hubs. Okay. Once
Yeah.
again, we are
Air hubs,
excluding air hubs. Air hubs is different language. Article 40 is different language there.
yeah.
They can call them in and it's different. So, but I don't know I don't know why anyone or any BA or someone from administration would say there's a precedent set. There's no way. There's no way. I mean, if there was a precedent set in their local, then maybe they shouldn't be there. I mean, that's a problem. Seriously, that's an absolute problem.
That's
You
that's a
know?
discussion for another episode, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So, everyone knows what it is. We don't, no one tells anyone not to come in. We just
Yeah.
say, hey, it's a holiday. And if they want to, fine. If not, they're not going to get in trouble. They get paid for the holiday. That's it.
It should be up to the individual, just like a
Yep.
lot of things that I've always felt should be up to the individual. Like, they touted in this contract, one of the big wins was the company can only has to leave you 2 weeks vacation for FMLA.
Yeah. Yeah. It
I
used to be
think
one.
honestly, I think it's absurd that you have to spend any of it for FMLA. I think if you want to spend it for FMLA, it should be your option, because some
Yeah.
people need that if they're going to be off for an extended period of time. But if you have FMLA, you're already using federally mandated days that you have to
Mhm.
have. The company being able to burn your entitlements for those seems
Yeah.
absurd to me, and I think that's a big loss for Teamsters by leaving that kind of language in. This is like, I think it's a loss for language, not in 2025, for us to still not have paid maternity and paternity leave in our fucking contracts. The
My God.
management has paid maternity and paternity leave.
Yeah.
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 But
Yeah. I
you know,
mean,
that's
there are a
that's
lot
a
of things.
discussion That's a discussion
Another-
for a couple more years, and when we come up for
Yeah.
another contract negotiation.
Yeah. So what about the second one? What about
Let
that?
me see. Let me pull that one up.
And the
Yeah,
DOT.
DOT exams. That's right.
Yeah.
So we have a guy that was asking about his DOT exams. Unfortunately, you don't get paid for the time for your
No.
DOT exams. However, if what he's emailing
Mm-hmm.
us is true, this kind of walks that line because apparently he was instructed to come in an hour and a half early before his
That's
shift.
weird. That's weird.
So he could go get his DOT exam done. And I'm like,
I don't know.
a member of management is instructing me to come in early so I can do that, I feel like I should get paid for it. But on the same time, the company takes the stance that, this is your responsibility to keep up to date.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
I've never heard of being called in early. Like, what do they have, the DOT? They
yeah.
have the doctor at the hub or something? Like, okay, if you want to call me in early, plus, if you're calling me in early, you're gonna pay me. Plus, if you're calling me in early, that means
You have to be paid
wait
time and a
minute,
half.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying it's like extra work,
Yeah.
Is there someone above me that you're calling me in early that you have to pay me? Someone with higher seniority. I mean, you get into all. I've never heard of that,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's. I mean, if they want to make them pay you, but you don't have to.
Yeah, it's a
You know.
slippery. It's certainly a slippery slope by having a member of management instructing you to come in early so you can get your DOT exam. But at the same time, like, it's your responsibility to take care of these things. The company generally will let you know when yours is about to expire so that you can go get it taken care of on your own time. It's for us in our building, the place we usually go to Care Now, and it's like 2 minutes from the building. So like, it's not a big deal for me to show up an hour early and go in and be like, hey, I need to get a DOT exam real quick. Or, there are a couple of places that'll do it on the weekends around me as well that I can go and get it done. But to be clear, if I was being instructed by a member of management to come in early to get this taken care of, like, I would want to be sure, and especially if you're going to push this to get paid for it, I would want to be sure you either have it like in a text message or something, or have a witness there that's prepared to, write a statement.
And show up to the building first.
Yeah.
Show up to the building first.
Show up to the building first. Get your board, clock in. Hey, I was instructed to come in early. I'm here. I'm clocking in. I'm going to go get my DOT exam. This is what I was told to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's weird.
It's one of those things that, a manager that doesn't know better or a supervisor that doesn't know better can get themselves in a lot of trouble by saying the wrong things. And we as a union need to be able to pick up on those things, to be like, hey,
absolutely.
If you're going to let these guys act like this and be these corporate bullies, essentially, then, there are ways that we can make you pay for that. Like, it's one thing to be like, hey, look, it was like, hey, I need you to get your DOT exam done. We need you to work next week, please go get it done. It's another thing to say, look at somebody and say, I'm instructing you to be here an hour and a half early so you can get this done before your shift. Like, there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. And it seems like UPS takes it upon itself to train supervisors the wrong way to do things.
It does seem that way. It's like, but here's the right way, but hey, we're going to teach you the wrong way. But here's the right way over here. Don't listen to that. And the contract that we signed also, we're not going to abide by it. We're just going to go by our own rules, and it just make the union work harder, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But we have to. Okay, we got to be ahead of it. We got to be stronger than that, So that's why educating, empowering is important. So, well, good. I'm glad we covered those things. Everything's important, and answering members' questions. We got to, we'll do that from time to time. We're going to answer the questions we get in the emails. It's important. And, I'm glad we did. So for myself and Garfield, have a good day and enjoy MLK Day off.
Yes.
All right. Take care.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the Southern region.
And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.